Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt like you didn't belong there, like everyone else had some secret knowledge about how to carry themselves, how to speak with certainty, how to simply exist without questioning every single move they made? I know that feeling, and I want you to know right now, before we go any further, that if that resonates with you, you are not alone, not even close. Self-confidence is one of the most misunderstood concepts in personal development. Most people think it's something you either have or you don't, like eye color or height, something fixed, something decided for you before you ever had a say in the matter. But that belief, that single misunderstanding, is what keeps millions of people stuck in patterns they desperately want to break free from. And today, I want to dismantle that belief completely. Let's start with the truth that most people are too afraid to say out loud. The people you admire, the ones who seem fearless, who seem to walk through life like they own every room they enter, they are not free from doubt. They feel it too. The difference is not the absence of fear or uncertainty. The difference is that they have learned to act despite it. They have learned to move forward even when the voice inside their head is screaming at them to stop, to wait, to shrink back down to something safer and smaller. And here is the thing that changes everything. That skill can be learned. It is not a personality trait, it is a practice. Now I want you to ask yourself something honest. Think about a moment in your life when you did something that genuinely scared you. Maybe it was speaking up in a group when you'd rather have stayed silent. Maybe it was starting something new when failure felt like a very real possibility. How did it feel afterward? Not during, but after. My guess is that even if it was messy, even if it wasn't perfect, there was something on the other side that felt different, something that felt like growth. That feeling is what self-confidence is actually built from, not from success alone, but from the willingness to try when it would have been easier not to. Here is the first thing I need you to understand, and this is grounded in real psychology. Your confidence is directly connected to your self-talk, the ongoing conversation you have with yourself all day long. Research consistently shows that people who speak to themselves with compassion and encouragement perform better under pressure than those who engage in harsh internal criticism. Your brain is listening to every single thing you tell it, and the tragic irony is that most people spend years being their own harshest critic while wondering why they feel so small and so afraid. Think about a young person who wants to try out for a team or audition for something they care deeply about. Now imagine that person has spent months telling themselves they aren't good enough, that other people are more talented, that they'll probably embarrass themselves. By the time they step into that moment, they have already lost. Not because they lacked the skill, but because their own mind built a wall around them before they even began. Now flip that. Imagine the same person, same skill level, but they have practiced encouraging themselves the same way a good coach would. Do you think the outcome changes? Absolutely it does. The practical step here is this. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. Just notice it. When you catch yourself saying something you would never say to a friend, pause and reframe it. That one habit alone can begin to shift everything. Here is the second argument, and I want you to stay with me because this one goes deep. Confidence is not built in the planning phase, it is built in the doing phase. I know that sounds simple, but think about how many times you have waited to feel ready before taking action, waited to feel confident before raising your hand, waited until the fear was gone before making the move. Here's what nobody tells you. The confidence comes after the action, not before it. You do not wait until you feel ready. You act, and the readiness follows. Every single time you do something uncomfortable and survive it, your nervous system updates its records.
It learns that the threat was survivable. It expands your window of what feels possible. And there is something even more important waiting for you later in this video, so don't go anywhere yet. There is a story I want to share with you. A young man grew up in a household where he was told in 100 small ways that he wasn't the smart one, wasn't the talented one, that real success was meant for other people. He internalized that message so deeply that by the time he reached adulthood, he had constructed an entire identity around being invisible. He avoided opportunities not because he lacked ability, but because he had convinced himself failure was guaranteed before he even started. One day, almost by accident, he was forced to lead a small project at work. He was terrified. He made mistakes, but he also made decisions. He discovered something in that process that no one had ever been able to hand him: evidence. Real, personal, undeniable evidence that he was capable. That one experience didn't transform him overnight, but it cracked the door open, and every small action he took after that pushed the door a little wider. That is how confidence is actually built for most of us. Not one dramatic turning point, but a quiet series of small, brave choices that slowly rebuild the story we tell ourselves about who we are. But what about comparison? Because let's be real, we live in an era where comparison is almost unavoidable. You open your phone and you are instantly flooded with curated highlights of other people's lives, their achievements, their confidence, their seemingly effortless success, and something in you quietly contracts. Here is what I want you to remember every single time that happens. You are comparing your entire behind-the-scenes footage to someone else's highlight reel. You are comparing your doubts, your struggles, your bad mornings, your unfinished chapters to their best moment, their best angle, their most polished version of a single day. That is not a fair comparison. It was never a fair comparison. And the moment you stop using other people's lives as the measuring stick for your own worth, something extraordinary begins to happen. You start measuring yourself against who you were yesterday, and that is a race you can actually win every single day. I want to ask you something sincere right now. What is one area of your life where you have been shrinking, where you have been playing it small, staying quiet, holding back, waiting for some kind of permission that is never going to come? Because here's what I know about you. The fact that you're watching this, that you chose to press play on a video about building confidence, tells me something real. It tells me there is a part of you that knows you are capable of more. That part of you was right to reach out today. And what I want you to feel is this: choosing to engage with this idea, sitting here and honestly reflecting, that was already an act of courage. Small, quiet, but genuinely real. That counts. Every single step counts, even the ones no one else can see. Now let me give you one practical thing you can do today. Not tomorrow, not after the weekend, not when life feels more settled or more certain. Today. Find one small moment where you would normally shrink back and choose to step forward instead. It does not have to be grand or dramatic. It could be speaking up in a conversation, sharing an opinion you usually keep to yourself, sending a message you have been putting off, or simply standing a little taller and making eye contact when you walk into a room. Just one moment. And when you do it, pause afterward and notice how it feels. That feeling is the foundation. That feeling is where real, lasting confidence is built from. Self-confidence is not a destination you arrive at and then maintain effortlessly forever. It is a practice, a daily, imperfect, deeply personal practice of choosing yourself even when doubt shows up loudly and uninvited. It is about building a relationship with yourself that is honest and kind and genuinely encouraging. It is about collecting evidence through your own actions and your own decisions that you are someone worth believing in. Because you are. You always have been. You were just waiting for proof. And the only place that proof will ever truly come from is you. If this video gave you something useful today, if something here shifted even slightly, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. It helps more people find this content, and it means a lot to know that what I'm creating here is landing for you. And if you want to keep building on this, if you want more videos about confidence, mindset, and becoming the version of yourself you've always known was possible, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. I'll see you there.